Willkommen, bienvenue. Welcome once again to another live stream. I tell you what, every time Sally talks to me, she teaches me a little bit about a topic I thought I already knew. So it just goes to show. And today is no exception. The question that we have in front of us: how often do you need to update or change your personal brand?
So this is a question I get asked a lot of times from either potential clients or people who don't know anything about personal brand, but quite often when people are giving me a reason why they can't work with me at the moment, because they'll say, well, we'll do it now, but will I have to update it again in a year's time? And am I going to have to repay to update it? And it's a bit like, do I have to update my life? You know, it's sort of...
Well, if your life has changed radically, then I guess you do. But if you are still the same person in a year's time and having the same ethos and representing the same things, why would you need to change it?
Well, if I look at my three girls now, so I've got three daughters, and I look at their personalities now, and I look at what they're doing, and I look at how they're doing, and I look at the friends they have and the partners they have, and it's the same as when they were 2 or 3. You know, they do things in the same way. One of them's very organized. One couldn't remember a head unless it was screwed on. And the other one just powers through and does everything. So you can see people's personality and who they are now as it was then. And once you've defined your personal brand and really defined it, not just done. I did a coaching session with a lady this morning, and I asked her a question, and I actually asked her the same question 10 times. And I could see steam coming out of her head because she was trying to think of other things to say. And I said, well, if you'd read this in a book, or you were trying to teach yourself something on your own, you'd have given up after 3 times. And I said, and your answers to 9 and 10 questions are what it is. And that's what I do with personal brand. People can sit there and go, okay, what do I like? What are my values? And they'll get it done in an hour, you know, or so, because they've asked themselves all these questions, but they're not going deep enough. But when you do go deep, it is the same forever, because you don't really change your personality. You change your behaviors, and you change your job, and you change your career, and you change what you're doing. So yes, your branding may change, but it will still who you are, what you stand for, and how you help. You will just be at a different stage in your life. You may have learned some different things that you're therefore going to teach or pass on. And so, yes, there's different. Do you remember we did an episode a month or so ago, perhaps longer, about your store cupboard?
Yes, absolutely.
And we made everything go in our store cupboard, and we bring out things that are pertinent to what we're doing today. So once you've worked out your personal brand, which is your store cupboard, occasionally you go to Sainsbury's and you buy a new spice, or you buy a new jar of pickles and you put that in your store cupboard. And so, yes, there's something else you could get out and put in whatever you were making. Does that... You're looking a little confused, Gareth. Ask me the questions, and then if you're confused, we can make...
I'm thinking about what I was actually pondering what was inside my store cupboard. What I would bring out. So the basic fundamentals of your branding don't need to change, like your brand colors, for instance.
No, I mean, the thing is, when you have done your colours, I mean, everybody has a blue, a yellow, a green, a pink, you know, you all have lots of colours. So yes, your brand colours can change, but they're still your colours. They still belong to you. Okay, I mean, mine.
I have a steampunk aesthetic. I've got purple and I've got purple and yellow as being the fundaments of it. But outside of that, I suppose there could be a variety of change. I mean, don't need to be there, but it's the fundament of the purple, the yellow, and elements of blue that seems to follow me around, and I think that I like that. But I don't really feel the need to
You
change
do.
the colouring. I don't think.
I sometimes, when I work a lot on Zoom, and when I work on Zoom, obviously I've got my backdrop, which I've told you about before. It's my career and life history, which is great. And it's sequins for when I was a stylist. And I love it. But occasionally I get a little bored with looking at it. So I either bring the screen closer so we concentrate on one section, or I turn it upside down. You know, so it's still the same, but it's different.
Right.
And that's how people tweak their personal brand. You don't have to redo it. Once you've done the work, you've done the work. And then you can add to it or not show that bit or show the bit that you hadn't shown before, but you don't have to redo it.
So you don't have to radically change everything each time.
No, because the thing is, this represents me, whether I was a cancer nurse, a stylist, somebody who does personal brand, somebody who goes out paddleboarding. I could still use this to explain what I did. Okay, I love theatre. There aren't many people who have a sequin background.
No.
You know, no.
I know of none others.
Yeah, you know, so for me, this background is a bit like my stage. So that explains that part of me. Paddleboarding, where you could say I paddleboard a river, which to be fair is brown, not blue. But if you use your imagination.
Wishful thinking, that's blue, isn't it?
Exactly. So your personal brand explains everything about you. So whether you're in a career, whether you have two businesses, or whether you have a career and a sideline, your personal brand will explain it all.
Right. But will it explain evolution? I have noticed that some people's brand is often simplified over time. Do you see what I mean?
Yes, and the thing is, you niche down, don't you? In whatever career, business, job you're doing, you niche down because you decide that it's those sort of people you like, or it's that particular type of work you like doing. And so you do niche down. So the things in your personal brand, you can just, keep everything in your store cupboard if you need it once, but you can just show these 5 things or these 10 things or these 4 things. You don't show the whole store cupboard all the time, because believe you me, if you walked into my store cupboard, you walk out again.
Is that because it's full?
Well, it's full and it's not overly tidy. I have been into some store cupboards where everything's labelled.
Right.
Mine's a bit like my mind. Nothing is really labelled, and it's definitely not in alphabetical order. So.
But you know where all the piles are?
Yes. Oh, yes, I can find anything, just nobody else could.
Right.
And I'm guessing you know that feeling as well.
I'm afraid I do. Doom piles, I think they refer to them as. So people seem to get anxiety.
Yes.
About their brand.
Yes.
About whether or not the vision they had at the beginning is still relevant.
Yes. And visions change, plans change, without a shadow of a doubt. There was, I think it's, dragging in my history now, when they did the moon landings, they had a plan. We're going to get from Earth to the moon.
Right.
Okay. They drew a trajectory, but they were only on that trajectory for about 3% of the time, because they had to keep changing the plan slightly all the way along. But they still got to the moon. I mean, they didn't veer off and go to Pluto or something. They arrived on the moon. But the plan that they started off with was not the plan they followed. And that's life, isn't it?
It was more of a guideline, wasn't it, really? And they would keep modify it because there was new information that came in, so they would factor that into new equations.
Yeah.
And are you saying we're running a parallel with your personal brand, that over time, as new information comes in, you can slightly course correct, but the overall should be very similar? Yes,
should be very similar. Yes, because it's you. I mean, every time we meet a new group of friends, we probably show a slight different part of our personality. You know, if I go to a book club, then I show my well-read, relatively, well, logical or intelligent. I show that at book club, okay, because that's what comes out. If I go, I don't know, jumping off boulders into rivers, I'm not showing that part of me. I'm showing my, you know, slightly impulsive.
Reckless
behavior.
is the word you're looking for.
No, I didn't say that. But so we do have so many elements to ourselves. So our business is likely to have lots of different elements to it as
And
well.
I suppose it's impractical to show everything all at once. So
Okay.
do you look for the headlines? Do you look for, what do you look for? Because a brand won't show every aspect of you.
No, it won't. But if you've done the groundwork, what comes out is your brand is based on all those things that happen. It's based on your values and on your stories and on your strengths and talents and things that happen to you. It's based on, you know, who you are, what you look like, how you come over. It's based on all those things. And then you talk about what you're doing in your business. Okay, I've got a lovely lady who makes kilts. If anybody wants a kilt, get in touch, because oh my God, she makes amazing ones. But she's quite quiet. And she said, oh, I quietly make people kilts. And I said, when they put a kilt on, are they quiet? And she went, oh my goodness, no, they leap around and they dance and they're so happy and they're joyous. And I said, okay, so that is what you are giving your clients. And so that comes into your brand because you're giving them that joy. You are not giving them your quiet, you know, hardworking needlecraft. You are, but that's not what you need to, that's not what your client receives. They receive this excitement and this uniqueness and this joy at wearing a kilt.
I do love kilts. I've got two. But I had them made, because I'm odd, I had them made up by as utilitarian kilts. So they've got pockets, and one's in purple with black stripes, and the other one's just in black. But I would love a kilt, actually. Maybe I should talk to her.
Yeah, maybe you should.
But they're reassuringly expensive to be made. That's the problem, because they're quite complex things. Although
Yes.
they're really one long bit of material wrapped around you.
Yes, but there's still
note,
they have to be bespoke.
Note to the world, I always wear underwear.
I wasn't ever going to go there.
I just thought I'd clarify. So, all right. If you've never had a brand before, you never thought about a brand, we understand the steps to doing that. If you've had a brand, you've had a brand since the year dot.
Mm-hmm. Well, it depends whether you've had a brand or you've had branding.
No, but I mean, like, you've gone through the branding process where you've worked on all the different aspects of your branding, and together you've formed it together into a brand.
Yes.
A Saxa Salt, a Coca-Cola, a Innocent drinks, whatever it is, the brand. And then you realize that you actually wanted to show a green side of you, that you are caring for the environment. Would it be okay to somehow have an adjunct like
well, you can just pop it in somewhere. I mean, if I had a bit more green, then I could, you know, pull this out and make this green come to life. So yes, you can always add things to it, because you grow as a person, you grow. So your personal brand should grow with you. But each time you grow, that doesn't take away where you have been.
Okay.
So your personal brand includes where you've been and where you are now, and potentially where you're going. But every time you do one of those growths, you don't take the back end away. You keep that there.
Yes.
Because that's the foundation. It's the foundation of you. It's the foundation of your business.
Layers.
Onion.
Yes, oniony layers. So slightly less smelly, but the point is that you've got your core of your onion, which is all the base stuff, and then you can, as you grow, you add layers to it.
Yeah, but they'll all go together. So if we just take the colour scenario, your colours that personally suit you, so you're going to have your reds, your oranges, your blues, your browns, they will all work together. So you can put out of your colours a brown with the red, or a brown with a blue, or a blue with a yellow. They will blend beautifully. Whereas if you take somebody else's colours who don't have your colouring, they have a different colouring, and you take a couple from theirs, it will clash and it will go, bleh, you know, and it just won't blend. Where your personal brand will all blend together, because that's the whole point of it.
Wow. Yeah, another learning day for me. So that was, I worried for a while, because I'm thinking, you know, my brand has been this way for a few years now. Should I? Well, maybe I should just add something to it rather than redo the whole thing. No, okay. Well, that's reassuring in a way.
Yes.
Thank you once again. Thank you, Sally Inkster, for regaling that of more branding tips, specifically of what to do if you've already been a brand developed a brand, gone through the whole branding process, and now think I should add bits to it. Nil desperandum. The world will not collapse. You can add bits to it. Look, thank you so much, Sally. And to all you out there, if you're finding this useful, I recommend you go to sallyinkster.com. She's got some great stuff that she can talk to you about and at least set you straight. I recommend an initial consultation, which I believe is still free. And then you can find out what you really want to do, what you really want, as the in the words of the Spice Girls. Until the next time we meet, guys, keep reaching for the stars, but keep your feet on the ground and look after your mental health. Until then, bye-bye now.
Take care. Bye.